إلى أرواح أموات المؤمنين والمؤمنات، رحم الله من قرأ السورة المباركة الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى، محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم العن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآله وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم العن العصابة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله، اللهم لعنهم جميعا. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال يا قوم أرأيتم إن كنت على بينة من ربي ورزقني منه رزقا حسنا وما أريد أن أخالفكم إلى ما أنهاكم عنه، إن أريد إلا الإصلاح ما استطعت وما توفيقي إلا بالله، عليه توكلت وإليه أنيب. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Elders of the community, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam and Iman, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to take this opportunity also to thank you for participating in large numbers this morning for the peace walk in the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. It has a tremendous impact. One brother narrated to me as to how one or two people came to ask him about what this walk was. And it was enough for him to mention the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. It was enough for him to mention the name of the Holy Prophet. And I believe that even if one person who does not know about Imam Hussain alayhi salam goes to the website Who is Hussain or any other website to find out about Imam Hussain alayhi salam, I would say our walk was successful. And today, Mu'mineen of Edmonton Jamaat went out in order to tell the world about Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So I say to you all, Mu'mineen, Mu'minat, elders, brothers, sisters, children, all of you, I say, Jazakumullah, may Allah increase in your tawfiqat. Recite salawat, please. We continue with our discussion, and today I am going to discuss 3 topics quite quickly, and I would like, inshallah, to try and finish as early as possible, because I know that you have this work and all the other works that you have, you must be tired. We will try and finish this quickly today and try to take the lessons from Karbala. We're going to discuss about, remember yesterday we discussed about 2 obstacles, so we discuss more. We discuss about importance of religious reformation, and then we begin a subject, methodology of reformation, which inshallah we will continue also tomorrow. So, yesterday we discussed the 2 obstacles. One was the threats. When any person tries to begin reformation, the first thing he is going to face is a threat. We discussed the example of Nabi Shu'aib, where Nabi Shu'aib was given a threat that if you do not stop what you are doing, we are going to throw you out of the town. Okay? The other 2, numbers 2 is backlash. When a person tries to do reformation, when he tries to bring about a change, when he tries to set the things right, those people who do not wish to see this reformation and are stubborn, there is going to be a reaction from them, and they are going to act in a manner to sort of put down the morale of a person who is trying to bring about this reformation. So let's move forward to number 3. The third obstacle which people face is that people mock. Okay? Look at verse number 87. Our main topic, our main discussion has been verse number 88. Let's look now at verse number 87. قال يا شعيب أصلاتك تأمرك أن نترك ما يعبد آباؤنا أو أن نفعل في أموالنا ما نشاء إنك لأنت الحليم الرشيد. Look at the meaning of it. They said, "O Shu'aib, does your worship require that we abandon what our fathers have been worshipping, or that we should not do with our wealth whatever we wish? You are indeed a gentle and sensible person." Where do they mock Hazrat Shu'aib? They mock Hazrat Shu'aib by telling him, "As-salatuka," your prayer that you are telling us that we should pray, right? Teaches you, tells you that we should leave whatever we have been worshipping. So people do mock when a person tries to bring about reformation. Please recite salawat. It is my humble request once again, please. Once we start the majlis, the movement, if it is stopped, will be better, because the distraction that comes. I know we are living in a free country, okay? We know that. Let's have discipline. We have come to give condolence to Bibi Fatima Zahra alayha salam. If we were to go and give condolence to any member of a royal family or a family that is respected, we wouldn't be standing up from the chair, walking out, coming in whenever we want. This is Imam Bargah. We have come to give condolences to Bibi Fatima Zahra salawatullah wa salamu alayha. Imam Hussain alayhi salam was also mocked on the plains of Karbala. When Imam Hussain alayhi salam, on the day of Ashura, when it was time of Salat, and when Abu Thumama Saydawi came in the presence of Imam and said, "Mawla, This is awwal waqt, this is the main time of Salatul Dhuhr. We would wish that our last namaz on this earth is prayed behind you. At that time, Imam Hussain al-Islam had sent a request. So Habib ibn Madahir went with this request to the army of Yazid and to tell them that please halt this attack until we have said our prayers. Hassin bin Tamim answered and told Habib ibn Madahir, tell Hussein that his prayers will not be accepted. This is mocking. And Habib ibn Madahir replied to tell him that Hussein's prayer will not be accepted, and a person who drinks wine, his prayer will be accepted. So this is mocking. We find also in the life of the Holy Prophet, when the Holy Prophet was spreading the message in Mecca, the Quraysh wanted to stop the people from going to the Holy Prophet. So in order to stop the people, they used to tell them, don't go to Muhammad, he is a sorcerer. Don't go to Muhammad, he is a magician. Don't go to Muhammad, he is a madman, and many other names. One person had come from Medina. This is in Mecca, before the Holy Prophet has migrated to Medina. A person from Medina comes in the presence of Quraysh. He wanted help. Right? Remember yesterday I told you about Aus and Khazraj. So he was from the tribe of Khazraj. He had come to take assistance from the elders of Quraysh in means of if they would give him some money, or if they would give him some arms, so that they would continue with their fight. And he, when their talks finished, and they told him, we will not be able to assist you this year because we ourselves have a problem. Okay? So he decided that before he leaves for Medina, let him perform the tawaf of Kaaba. Listen to this. So the elders of Quraysh told him, we wouldn't advise you to go to Masjid al-Haram to perform the tawaf, for you will find Muhammad there and he will be with you. When he insisted that I want to go there, at that time they told him, put cotton wool in your ears so that you will not be able to hear what Muhammad is saying. See how they used to mock at the Holy Prophet. Prophet was a reformer. Prophet had come to set right whatever was wrong. Prophet had come to lead the people towards salvation. And this is how they had reacted. So you find people who mock to those who are reformers. Can we have the next slide, please? Recite salawat, please. The fourth one is that us. So they accused Nabi Shu'aib of being illiterate. They accused Nabi Shu'aib of a person who does not know anything, and they told him that you are weak. So the fourth and the final obstacle that we discuss is accusation. Whoever does reformation is always accused. There are people who will accuse him of different things. Let's take just one example of the Holy Prophet. When he came with the verses, with the revelation of Quran, okay, with the ayahs of Quran, what did the people say? People said that Muhammad studied from Bible, he met with Jews, he met with Christians, heard their stories, and then he now comes up with this revelation. So this sort of accusations will go. Okay. So we now move to the next part, and that is the importance of Reformation. We're talking about, remember we discussed that there are several types of Reformation mentioned in the Holy Quran. The most important of that is individual Reformation. If we want to have Reformation in our society, it begins with individual reformation. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah Azza wa Jal will not change the state of the community. The state of the community will not change until individuals in the community start changing themselves. When they start changing themselves, when they start setting themselves right, then Allah will change. Individual reformation is there. Then I mentioned several, in fact I mentioned 5 social reformations, which Quran mentions. And then we now come to, I mentioned the 6th one at that time, and I told you that when Nabi Shu'aib said that I only desire to set the things right, that was religious reformation. And today I want to just discuss and explain the importance of religious reformation. Okay? Tradition mentions that those who reflect and introspect their religious affairs and then they change themselves will attain the status of Siddiqeen. Siddiqeen means the truthful. And the position of Siddiqeen is together with the position of Shuhada, of the martyrs. This is how important it is. Okay? Now, in history, you have 3 people who have been given the title of Siddiqeen. Number 1 is Hisqeel, who is known as Mu'mine Ale Fir'aun. Number 2 is Habib Najjar, who is known as Sahib Yasin. And the 3rd reformer who has been given the title of Siddiqeen is none other than Imam Ali bin Abi Talib salawatullah wa salamuhu alayh. So the tradition mentions that these 3 tried to bring about reformation. And in bringing about reformation, they faced those difficulties, they faced obstacles. Okay? Mu'min Ale Fir'aun was killed. Habib Najjar was killed. Imam Ali alayhi salam was also killed and he was martyred. All these people were martyred, but they were given the status of Siddiqeen. So let's begin with Mu'min Ale Fir'aun. Surat Al-Ghafir, 40th surah in the Holy Quran. It is also known by another name, Surat Mu'min. And the reason why it is known as Surat Mu'min is because the dhikr of Mu'min Ale Fir'aun is in this surah. Okay? So, Surat Ghafir, verse number 41. وَيَا قَوْمِ مَا لِي أَدْعُوكُمْ إِلَى النَّجَاةِ وَتَدْعُونَنِي إِلَى النَّارِ. Mu'min Ale Fir'aun, that is his skill, is telling his community, oh my people, think what makes me invite you to deliverance, to najat, while you invite me towards the fire. I am calling you towards salvation, you are calling me towards fire. Why? Think about it. Okay? Then, in verse number 42, تَدْعُونَنِي لِأَكْفُرَ بِاللَّهِ وَأُشْرِكَ بِهِ مَا لَيْسَ لِي بِهِ عِلْمٌ وَأَنَا أَدْعُوكُمْ إِلَى الْعَزِيزِ الْغَفَّارِ. Hizkiel says, you invite me to defy Allah and to ascribe to Him partners of which I have no knowledge, while I call you to Almighty, the All-Forgiver. Okay? Now, this is where we find that how he tried to bring about reformation, and he is telling them, فَسَتَذْكُرُونَ مَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ. This is verse number 44. فَسَتَذْكُرُونَ مَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ. And after that he says, وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. Soon you will remember what I tell you, and I entrust my affair to Allah. Indeed, Allah sees best the servants. Nabi Shu'aib, Hizkil over here is telling them, I have tried to do salvation amongst you. I have tried to set your affairs right. You have not accepted me. But soon you are going to remember, after I go away from here, soon you are going to see what I was trying to tell you. How I was trying to change. Okay? فَوَقَاهُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِ مَا مَكَرُوا. Then Allah saved him from their evil schemes. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, when I introduced to you, I mentioned at that time that Hizkil was killed. Quran says, فَوَقَاهُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِ مَا مَكَرُوا. Then Allah saved him from their evil schemes. So you have this question in your mind. I have this question in my mind. And there was a person during the time of Imam Ja'far Sadiq, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi. He came to Imam and he asked the Imam that what salvation did Hizkil get? He was killed. Imam alayhi salam said, in reference to this verse 40-45, that is, فَوَقَاهُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِ مَا مَكَرُوا, Imam said, this salvation, though his physical life went, this salvation was salvation of his religion and of his faith. By saving himself, by getting killed, his religion was protected, his faith was protected. He did not cross the line, he did not obey or go and accept the invitation of the people who had invited him towards believing in a partner to Allah Azza wa Jal. He protected himself. Okay? Then, we come to Habib Najjar, Sahib Yasin. Surah Yasin, verse number 20. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ. This is his reformation. Remember, if you read the verses of Surah Yasin, there were two people who came first. After those two people, a third person came. And all these three people said, we are messengers. According to the Mufassirin, there is a difference of opinion. Some of the Mufassirin says that these are messengers of Allah, and some of the Mufassirin said that these are messengers of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. Right? Remember the event of these people when they came there. This is where a town which is called Antioch, which is now in Turkey, right? That is the place where this event had taken place. So, وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ. And from far, or from the city or outskirts of the city, hurrying, yas'a, coming very quickly, a person comes and he tells the people, ittabi'ul mursaleen, follow the apostles, follow these messengers. This was Habib Najjar. Finally, he was killed also. He attained, according to tradition, the status of Siddiqeen. And then we have Imam Ali bin Abi Talib, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi. If you refer to Nahjul Balagha, in khutbah number 191, and according to some books, 192, again, depends where it is published, Imam Ali alayhi salam makes it very clear. This is khutbatul qasi'ah, and in this Imam mentions, it is long khutbah, but Imam mentions, beware, surely Allah has commanded me to fight those who revolt or who break the pledge or create trouble on the earth. As regard pledge breakers, I have fought them. As regards deviators from truth, I have waged holy war against them. And as regards those who have gone out of the faith, I have put them in serious disgrace. It may all look to us that these are very harsh steps taken by Imam Ali alayhi salam. But the situation demanded from Imam at that time that in order to bring about that reformation, he had to ensure. Remember yesterday when we discussed about Naharwan, I mentioned that someone came to Imam Ali alayhi salam and said that all the Khawarijis have been killed. Imam said, Kalla, no, not all have been killed. There are still those who are in the loins of their father and the wombs of their mother. In other words, that fikr and that thinking of Khawarijis has not been killed. It will continue. But Imam Ali alayhi salam is one of the Siddiqeen and he was a great reformer. Now, we look at two examples of the importance of this religious reformation. The great lady, the daughter of the Holy Prophet, the chief of the ladies of the paradise, Fatimatu Zahra salawatullah wa salamu alayhi. It was her dua. This is her dua. Allahumma la taj'al musibati fi dini. Oh Allah, I do not want difficulties in my religion. Allah, I can have difficulties in my worldly life, but as regards protecting my aqidah, as regard practicing and acting according to the religion, Ya Allah, I do not want difficulties in that. We all know, and these sentences of Bibi Fatima have a very, very deep meaning, which she said after the passing away of her father. Subbat alayya masaibun lawannaha, subbat ala layami sirna layaliya. O Father, after your passing away, those difficulties that have come upon me, had they fallen on a clear daylight, it would have turned into dark night. She faced all those difficulties, but her dua was, Allahumma la taj'al musibati fi dini. And then she goes on to say, wa aslih li fi dini فَالَّذِي هُوَ عِصْمَةُ أَمْرِي. Right? You will find these same sentences in dua of Imam Ali Zainul Abidin, dua for the day of Tuesday. You will find these sentences. O God, set right for me my religion, which is the preserving time of my affair. All my affairs are related to religion. That religion is my capital. If I have to work and earn money, the guidance is provided by religion. In my social life, the guidance is provided by religion. In my political life, the guidance is provided by religion. In my individual life, the guidance is provided by religion. In my family life, it is provided by my religion. So, Bibi was saying, wa aslih li dini. And God set right for me my religion. Why? Because this religion is the one that connects me to all my affairs. Okay? Now, let us see. I'm bringing only one example. There are plenty of examples in Nahjul Balagha. But here Imam Ali alayhi salam in sermon number 3, which is called as Shakshiqiyya, in that sermon Imam Ali alayhi salam tells us, in my view, this world of yours is no better than the sneezing of a goat. You can try tomorrow if you want to. Find a goat, let the goat sneeze, and that water comes out. What is the value of it? Imam says, this world of yours is no better than the sneezing of a goat. The reason I have brought this over here is that it is very unfortunate that the Muslims try to set affairs right of their world and forget setting right the affairs of their religion. This is important, my brothers. Imam Hussain alayhi salam's sacrifice was given for this purpose. When we say that Imam sacrificed his life to save Islam, Imam did not sacrifice his life in order to save the leaders of this world. Imam sacrificed his life so that the message of the Holy Prophet remains alive. The true message of the Holy Prophet remains alive. Let's seriously think this night, eve of 5th Muharram. Seriously think. I have my duty to set my religion right. My elders, brothers and sisters, I'm doing so passionately for you and for me first at least, and for you all others to think seriously. Religion is not something playful. When I need it, I apply it. When I am out of it, Khuda Hafiz. That's not my religion. That's not Islam. Think seriously. How much of importance we give to mustahab acts and not give importance to that which is wajib. I am telling you, do not come this day of Ashura to perform a'mal of Ashura. Don't come. It is mustahab. But ensure that on the day of Ashura, the Fajr namaz does not become qadha. We are more worried about our mustahab acts. Let's try to understand the true religion. That is the meaning. Setting right what is there for religion. That is the true meaning of it. If we want to say, okay, I've come to hear majlis, and I go out and someone says, you recited beautiful majlis today. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Yes, I recited. But I am going to ask this question to myself. Muhammad, you have recited. How much did you act on what you told the people? And how much are you ready to act on what you have learned from Quran and Nahjul Balagh? This is Karbala, this is Azadari. When a person takes an action, when a person decides that he wants to be in the group of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and is going to be by joining Imam Hussain alayhi salam, by that act of his which will please Allah, which will please Imam Zamana. Otherwise, do not be like those about whom Quran says, يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ. They try to fool Allah and they try to fool those who believe, but they are fooling no one but themselves. Imam Hussain alayhi salam said, this is when he was on the way to Karbala, he said that people consider religion on the tip of their tongue. It is just here. It is not in their heart. When they find that there are difficulties, they practice religion. But when they are not in difficulties, Khuda Hafiz. Seriously, my elders, brothers and sisters, think about this. Seriously. That have we really set our religion right? Imam is telling us, this world which we are running after, Imam says, in his sight, it is no better than the sneezing of a goat. Okay, let's go to this point, and this is the first point, and that is methodology of reformation. Recite salawat, please. I want to tell you two stories very quickly. Story number one is that an incident that happened during the time of 6th Imam. There was a Muslim who managed to convince a Jew to become a Muslim. So when that person became a Jew, now he had to teach him. You have now become a Muslim, so he had to teach him. So early in the morning, he went to the house of that person, the newly converted Muslim, knocked the door. That fellow opened the door and said, what it is? He said, let's go for namaz. So, fine. Got ready, they went for namaz. After Fajr namaz, this person said, okay, give me permission, let me return home. No, sit down, do mustahab ek, tasbih, Quran, do this. And he continued. The Jew got tired. When it was time for Zohar namaz, let's go for Zohar namaz. Made him sit there. When it was time for Asr namaz, Asr namaz. Maghrib namaz, go and pray. Isha namaz, every time pulling him, taking him to masjid and making him do wajibat, making him do mustahabbat. Late at night, he told him, okay, now you can go. When he returned home. The next day, the routine started. This Muslim went there, knocked the door. He said, let's go to the mosque. He said, why? He said, you are a Muslim. He said, who said you? I'm a Muslim. I'm a Jew back again. This is not the methodology. This is not how you reform. Okay? Let's take the second one now. Medina, the Holy Prophet has come to Medina. In Medina, he is having the support of the people, but yet in Medina, in the early days, there are still people who have not accepted Islam. There are people who still worship idols. There was a person by the name of Amr bin Jumu who unfortunately was handicapped. He had a problem with his leg, and he was a worshipper of idol. People tried to explain to him, please worship, stop worshipping, believe in one God. He would not agree. There were some young people in Medina who decided that, you know, the only way to change this fellow is take his idol and throw it. So they would go to his house, pick up the idol, go and throw it somewhere. And this poor fellow would start walking in Medina, find his idol, bring it, clean it, and start worshipping again. It happens several times like that. One day these young people took this idol and threw it in rubbish where there was a dead dog and there was so much rubbish and foul smell coming from there. This poor fellow went finding there. When he reached there and he looked at that, when he looked at the situation, he looked at the idol and he said and addressed the idol, if you cannot save yourself from this rubbish, how are you going to assist me? And he turned and became a Muslim. What worked at that time? In the first case we took, That fellow had emotionally accepted Islam. This fellow not only accepted Islam, but by that time when it was time for the Battle of Uhud, he went to the Holy Prophet and told him, Ya Rasulullah, give me permission to go and fight in the battlefield. The Prophet told him, for you, number one, it is not compulsory because you have a problem with your legs, so it is not wajib upon you. Number two, there are 4 sons of yours fighting for Islam. Why do you want to go? He said, no. Finally, the Prophet gave him permission. Before he left the house, he prayed to Allah, Allah, I do not wish to return to this house. Now look at this person. Finally, he became shaheed. But look at this person. When he accepted Islam and reformed himself, changed himself, it was intellectually. Okay? And that's why it is important that number one methodology is intellectual and rational basis, not on emotions. On emotion, you may win the heart of a person, but you will not be able to win the mind of that person. And the mind and the heart has to sync together in order to move forward. Okay? Now, this is important. Let us study this, the last 2 slides. Sermon number 166. Imam Ali al-Islam is telling the people, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَجُفَاتِ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ لَا فِي الدِّينِ يَتَفَقَّهُونَ وَلَا عَنِ اللَّهِ يَعْقِلُونَ. Imam is telling us, in fact he was telling the people and he is telling us, do not be like those rude people of the pre-Islamic al-Jahiliyyah period who did not exert themselves in religion nor use their intellects in the matter of Allah Azza wa Jalla. That reformation we want to bring about, let's bring it rationally. Let's bring it after thinking. Imam says, why? See. After that, Imam says, who are these people? They are like the breaking of eggs in the nest of a dangerous bird. Because their breaking looks bad, but keeping them intact would mean the production of dangerous young ones. Imam is saying, explaining to us. The Mufassirin have said that this is to explain that in our outer way we may look Islam, we may look Muslim, and we may show that we profess Islam, but inner we have not had a big change. Unfortunately, amongst us, the Indians, I don't know about Edmonton, I'm talking about United Kingdom, I'm talking about East Africa. We still have those old Hindu customs, which we try to put it in, whether it's time for marriage, whether it is time for birth, or whether it is time for some other occasion, and we apply those old Indian traditions. Well, we say outwardly, I'm a Muslim. That's why Imam is asking us, think. My elders, brothers and sisters, I have emphasized today and I have put that emphasis on trying to bring about that awareness and at least that small light in your heart, so that you can start thinking and you can start changing and putting affairs of your religion right. I'm saying this to myself first before I tell you. Let's not be like those whom Imam describes over here. Outwardly I am a Muslim, inwardly I am not a Muslim. May Allah protect us from that. We will inshallah continue tomorrow other methodology of reformation. But remember, today it is about this. Okay. Recite salawat, please. I want to discuss about two martyrs of Karbala today. So one, it will be in English, the other one in Urdu. And these are the days, and we need to understand the lives of these martyrs. First one was, which I want to discuss about today, is Muslim bin Awsaja. When Muslim bin Aqil went to Kufa, he appointed Muslim bin Awsaja to be like his treasurer. So he would collect the dues from the people, he would collect the fund and distribute the funds, and he had other responsibilities also. But as you know, that the situation in Kufa changed. Who is this Muslim bin Awsaja? Muslim bin Awsaja was very old. He was not of young age, he was very old. It is said that the skin on his forehead was coming down so much that it was covering his eyes. That's how old he was. But he was with Imam Hussain alayhi salam in Karbala. He agreed. He understood. So he came to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Of course, he joined Imam Hussain alayhi salam in Karbala. And when on the day of Ashura, Imam Hussain alayhi salam gave permission to Muslim bin Awsaja to go and fight, you know what Muslim bin Awsaja did? If his eyes were being half covered like this, how could he be able to go and fight? So he took a piece of cloth and then he raised that skin and tied it over here so that his eyes would be open, and he came into the battlefield, and like a brave warrior, he started reciting the rajas, and he started fighting, and finally Muslim bin Awsaja came down from the horse. Asadar. When Muslim came down from the horse, Muslim bin Awsaja, of course he called out for help from Imam. Imam went with Habib ibn Madahir. When they reached there, Imam looked at Muslim bin Aqil, and Muslim bin Aqil was still breathing. So Imam congratulated Muslim and said, Muslim, you have achieved, and soon you are going to go to Jannah. And you have reached to that stage of Shahada. And then Imam recited a verse from Surah Al-Ahzab, mentioning that there are those people who have completed their tasks and fulfilled their vows, and there are others who are going to follow them. Zadar. At that time, Habib ibn Madahir went to Muslim bin Aqil. Believe me, this is the great lesson that Muslim bin Awsaja left for all of us, all of us. You know what was that lesson? When Habib ibn Madahir goes to Muslim bin Awsaja and tells him, Ya Muslim, I know soon I am going to follow your path also. Muslim, you are living this world, you will have achieved the status of Shahada. But soon I am going to join you also, I am going to follow you. But oh Muslim, if there is still any one more wish that you would like me to fulfill or to do before I pass away from this world, a Muslim tells Habib ibn Madahir, come, and then points him towards Imam Hussain alayhi salam and says, Oh Habib, do not leave Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Support Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And this is the lesson Muslim has left for us. Do not leave Imam Hussain alayhi salam alone. Still what he said, Hal min nasirin yansuruna. We still need our help and we have to help Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Azadaro, ایک وقت وہ بھی آیا جب حبیب ابن مظاہر کی شہادت یا تو اس وقت ہوئی جب امام نماز ظہر پڑھ رہے تھے یا تو نماز ظہر کے بعد اس کی شہادت ہوئی ہے عزادارو. لیکن حبیب جو امام حسین علیہ السلام کے دوست تھے، بہت قریبی دوست تھے، اور تاریخ میں ملتا ہے، مقتل میں ملتا ہے کہ جب حبیب ابن مظاہر کربلا وارد ہوئے ہیں، تاریخ بتاتی ہے کہ اس وقت حبیب ابن مظاہر اس وقت پہنچے کربلا میں جب امام حسین علیہ السلام کربلا آ گئے تھے. دوسری تاریخ کہتی ہے کہ حبیب ابن مظاہر امام کے ساتھ کربلا پہنچنے سے پہلے پہنچے تھے. جو بھی ہوئے، لیکن تاریخ میں ملتا ہے کہ جب حبیب پہنچے ہے کربلا تو ایک مرتبہ حسین کے خیموں میں خوشی پیدا ہوئی. جب خوشی کی آواز پیدا ہوئی تو عزادارو اس وقت جناب زینب علیہ السلام نے جناب فضہ سے کہا جاؤ جا کے خیمے میں دیکھو کہ یہ آواز کس کی ہے، کون آیا ہے امام کی مدد کے لیے. بس عزادارو جب جناب فضہ نے جا کے کہا اے زینب، اے بی بی زینب، حسین کے پرانے دوست حبیب ابن مظاہر آئے ہیں. عزادارو اس وقت جناب زینب علیہ السلام نے جناب فضہ کو کہا اے فضہ جا کے حبیب کو میرا سلام کہنا. بس عزادارو جب فضہ نے جا کے کہا، حبیب نے اپنا امامہ اٹھا کے زمین پر رکھا اور کہا ہائے زمانہ آ گیا ہے، پیغمبر کی نواسی مجھے سلام بھیج رہی ہے. بس عزادارو حبیب میدان میں گئے، حبیب نے بہادری سے لڑائی کی اور کئی اشقیاؤں کو انہوں نے قتل کیا. لیکن ایک وقت آیا جب حبیب گھوڑے سے زمین پر آئے ہیں. عزادارو جب حبیب گھوڑے سے زمین پر آئے، حبیب کو موقع نہ ملا اور مولا کو بھی موقع نہ ملا کہ ایک دوسرے کی زیارت کرے، ایک دوسرے کو دیکھے. آپ جانتے ہو کیوں؟ عزادارو جب حبیب کی شہادت ہوئی اور جب حبیب چل بسے اس دنیا سے تو ان اشقیاؤں نے حبیب کا سر فوراً کاٹ لیا. عزادارو سر کاٹنے کے بعد ارے گھوڑے کی گردن سے باندھ لیا. عزادارو سن سکو، جب یہ لٹا ہوا قافلہ جب کوفہ گیا ہے عزادارو، اور کوفے میں پہنچا تو عزادارو حبیب کا ایک بیٹا تھا جس کا نام قاسم تھا. عزادارو جب قاسم کی نظر اپنے بابا کے سر پر پڑی ہے، عزادارو یہ چھوٹا بیٹا کیا کرے؟ بس کیا کیا اس نے، وہ جس گھوڑے سے اس کے بابا کے سر کو باندھا گیا تھا، حبیب قاسم اس کے پیچھے پیچھے آہستہ جا رہا تھا. عزادارو اس سوار جو بنی تمیم سے تھا، اس نے ایک مرتبہ پوچھا اے بیٹا تو میرے پیچھے پیچھے کیوں آ رہا ہے؟ عزادارو اس بیٹے نے کچھ نہ کہا، وہ پیچھے ہی پیچھے رہتا تھا. دوسری مرتبہ جب اس نے پوچھا تو قاسم نے کہا جس سر کو تو لے کے جا رہا ہے وہ میرے بابا کا سر ہے. عزادارو کیا زمانہ آ گیا تھا، ارے ننھا بیٹا اپنے باپ کے سر کو دیکھ رہا ہے، اس سے برداشت نہ ہوا. اس نے پوچھا، اس نے کہا یہ سر مجھے دے دو. تاکہ میں جا کے دفن کر لوں. عزادارو اس وقت اس شقی نے کہا میں تجھے سر نہیں دوں گا کیونکہ میں یہ سر جا کے عبید اللہ بن زیاد کو دوں گا, مجھے بہت بڑا انعام ملے گا. عزادارو قاسم کے دل سے پوچھئے اس وقت اس کے پر کیا گزری ہوگی. اے قاسم تم نے تو یہ سنا لیکن سکینہ کو تو پوچھا کرو. ارے کربلا سے کوفہ, کوفہ سے شام, بابا کا سر نوکے نیزے پر دیکھ. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ. ماتم حسین یا حسین.